AI employees, I ain't gonna cap. I could use more AI employees. Regular employees is dumb.
Did you actually see this? Jaspar Carmichael Jack's ad campaign to stop hiring humans and use AI instead. So I thought I saw this on the internet. Artisans won't complain about work life balance. The era of AI employees is here. The homeless person next to it is a really nice touch. Yeah, the dichotomy between these two is just so good. I think this was Gurgley who said this on Twitter, and I think he did a really good job, which is that the companies and the places that say they want to replace people with AI are the ones you want to run from. The places and the people that say they want to try to make people faster or get to solutions quicker are much more likely to be the ones that actually win. So this is probably comparing the difference between Devin, the one that claims to be a software engineer, versus Cursor, which claims to be an editor that's going to help you. Oh, there we go. It continues to.
So here's my opinion on it, and it's not that I don't agree with it. I just think it's just hard for you to sit there and like pretty much admit you will not be replaced, and that's not true. I feel like you're gonna be replaced faster than you think, and the replacements are gonna come from people who just don't meet the benchmark. Like think of it like this: you ever walk into a job and you're looking at someone that has the position you are qualified for, and they can't do shit but ask you for help? That's frustrating. AI is gonna solve that. Like all of those people are gonna get eradicated, which is great. I'm not talking about everyone else who's probably going to use AI just for like some irrational type of thing. No, I'm talking about people using AI to genuinely figure out who's the weak link. There's a lot of weak links in the job market. Like we don't need a lot of people on shift or on payroll. So AI agents is just gonna mitigate some of the tasks that's either tedious, not being met to like company standards, or just in the direction of like, yo, I want to grow and I want like people to adopt this autonomous way of making a company better. So the AI employee era, I'm so happy it happened. I'm not saying like I'm rooting for people to lose their jobs, but hey, it started with people who was in tech and entertainment. And honestly, if you've survived until now, that means you've adapted to the time. If you haven't, you was never supposed to be a part of the times anyways. I sound harsh for saying it. That's why I want an AI in charge. Because I don't want to sound harsh no more. I just want to be a realist. Like, not sell dreams. So yeah, that's my tea.
To sit poorly with me that this company is advertising its LLM product as a direct replacement for software engineers, calling it an AI software engineer. This is sleazy marketing targeting non technical CEOs and execs, suggesting they can replace devs with it, which we all watched what happened when I tried to use it. Um, in reality, the product is a sidekick for software engineers and one that has long iteration cycles. Here's a review of the actual dev. Yeah, this is one that's reviewed. For me, even non long term, long form versions of these videos aren't good enough, right? Like, this is only 9 minutes. I just don't think this is good enough to actually show you what it really, really is like. Like, you need to see and experience what the pain actually is.
Agreed. I know exactly what video is. I touched the video. Steve is a great, I guess, developer for Build.io. I just don't think he understands what a developer goes through because he's marketing a product, and it's hard for you to market a product and like downplay some of the biggest advancement in technology when your product like coexists with it. So yeah, I don't know if it's entirely true. Being the video is 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and even on his channel, the videos are kind of like not lengthy. The one thing I loved about the Prism, I want to make sure I don't butcher his name. The Prime again, or Prime Time. You feel me? If you know Deion Sanders, hot, hot, hit the hot, hot, hot. You feel me? But Prime Time. One thing I liked about it is he held a live stream where he tested the product out, and then after, if you didn't join the live stream, you didn't know about what was going on with Devin. And then he released the live stream to like YouTube. And if you were there, you would see that Devin doesn't even know how to push to commit. That's like insane. $500 for fucking what? Like what? And I don't know. So the AI employee era has begun, but like, don't be worried if you're a good employee already. It ain't replacing you. AI is not that good. It's not that good yet.
where you actually make it do bigger projects and try to get it to do anything, and you'll watch it just fizzle apart. I suspect that we'll see more claims from AI startups saying they are a one-to-one replacement for jobs, and more suggesting that they can replace devs. This is because GitHub Copilot backed most of them in a corner with a $20 a month product that works pretty well. Yeah, GitHub Copilot's actually pretty amazing still to this day. For me, I quit using it again because I just feel like I lose some of my ability to learn new languages really like as quick. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
I get this weird like syntax fuzzy mint in my head about how things work. Mainstream media will, for a while, end up eating this or eat up this narrative. Non-technical CEOs will flock and pay $500 a month per agent and assume they can now fire existing staff. Then they get disappointed when they realize how this or how it's not. Oh my god, how it's not how I got dyslexia for a second. Hold on, let me. This sex daily gets in my head every now and then. Then they get disappointed when realizing how it's not how
No,
this
that was
works. Oh
funny.
my gosh, I can't read. I can't read. I'm actually stupid. This is what an AI gold rush looks like. I actually really like this take because I think what people forget is there's this whole thing
All right. It's time for prime time to get shit on. Mainstream media will for a while eat up this narrative. Non-technical CEOs will flock to pay $500 a month per agent. That's nuts. And assume they can now fire existing staff, then get disappointed when realizing how it's not how prime time you win.
thing called legacy. And legacy is what happens right after your AI makes something. And somebody needs not only to take that change, but also has to take that change in perspective of all the other changes. Now, the context window of an AI is not nearly large enough to be able to make those decisions at any sort of level that's wise enough. This is a great take, which is there are going to be, I think he's perfectly right on this, by the way. All these non technical CEOs that are just going to go off and hire this $500 a month, oh, it's only $8 an hour. Of course, I would want this, and fire people because of it. I think it's absolutely crazy. And in reality, it's going to actually probably tank their product because their product's going to go, oh, wow, we got AI. And then their features are going to just grind to a halt. Things aren't going to work nearly as well. And then what's going to happen? It's just going to suck.
And that is why I can't. Yo, my dream, I'm gonna tell you my dream as a programmer. I want everyone to adopt AI. You wanna know why? Because I want it to cripple you. You guys don't understand that for you to use AI on the most efficient and most, I say, just the most efficient level, right? You have to understand yourself, one. If people always say code, code, code. No, nigga. You have to know who you are, what you want, and all the questions that you have to ask yourself before you even input it into AI. Yo, motherfuckers don't even know what they want to eat today. And that's who some of the CEOs, CTOs, and CFOs are. And I said CTOs. There's a lot of devs that's just aloof, or just, hey, I want all of y'all to adopt AI. As a matter of fact, I'm rooting for Devin because when Devin is incorporated in multiple places, that's when I'll strike, either as a programmer or as a hacker. But right now, I'm just trying to get fluent with all languages because I want to be a polyglot programmer. In the event you guys get into some shit, I want to be able to fix it, but with my own language. I don't want to integrate with this bullshit, React this, that, and the third. I'll have my own private network of languages, which will be accessed through APIs only. But I can't wait for AI agents to take over because everything's already in a central hub when it comes to technology. So if AI agents are already going to be integrated with that central hub, oh, I can't wait to see what type of rules and regulations are going to be put in place because a lot of people going to lose money. Not businesses, people. Regular people are just going to lose money, and businesses is going to have to explain it. And AI integration ain't going to cut it no more. Take notes from the WordPress lawsuit. Like all of that stuff, that ain't gonna cut it no more. If you look like a sleazy person, use a sleazy person. And if you look like you wanna act like AI is gonna change the world, uphold that same position in court. Cause I know how it's gonna turn out. There's no gray area. You shouldn't integrate something that is not widely adopted yet.
Immediate tech debt right off the rip. None of these things work the way that you think they're going to work, right? I can't wait for the AI craze to die. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon because I still think we got another iteration after this into the next model that's going to be these promise big change, and the big change isn't going to. It's going to result in the exact same thing that we just got done seeing, right? AI powered product. Yeah, when I see this thing right here, this is an advertisement for non-technical people to be baited into this, because you have to understand, you like absolutely have to understand that, again, LLMs work by taking the input token and attempting to produce out the most likely output that would result from this input. That's not a great way to program.
I explained what I my explanation was just like, I guess, black people terms. Like if a black person want to be a programmer, watch me, listen to my definition. But if you're a regular programmer, understand all the vocabularies, that's exactly what I'm saying. You got to know what the fuck you want to put into the AI. Just because you got the AI, that don't mean that you could just text whatever you want in it. That's how people assume that it doesn't work. Nah, bro. He probably gave you a mental illness. He probably made you think you're going to succeed more than you actually will succeed. That ain't how that's not how it
Right?
works.
That's not going to produce the program that you're probably going to want.
Yeah.
Programming is not the most likely character, the token afterwards. That's just how you don't produce good programs. That's how you
Yeah.
produce programs that don't even work. That's why APIs get like made up so often, because it is like the most likely sounding correct thing coming out. It doesn't mean it actually is the correct thing coming out. Anyways, this is dude, the era of AI employees is here. It's not here. It is like not here at all. I think what we are in the era of realizing that text prediction's pretty cool. I think that's the era that we're in. And text prediction is pretty cool. Like, you have to admit, me having a talk with Devin and it producing something that is like really cool comparatively to what has ever been.
Devil's advocate. What about the Apple stuff? How they guess like the next word? I ain't gonna lie to you, between Devin and that, right? Right. Between Devin and that, and let's not forget, we talking about if you look at the Apple texting, if you click it, it could generate a sentence that you're already kind of like either thinking of, thought of, or wrote. Like it'll be cohesive sense if you just click that word suggestion on that on your Apple phone. I honestly think that's better technology than what Devin got right now. Wow. OpenAI was already groundbreaking. If I was comparing Apple to OpenAI, yeah, I'd be fucking stupid. But Devin to what the Apple spell check and all of the stuff they have when the messages and you could click to predict the next message, that's been out already. As a matter of fact, Devin being hosted on a Slack bot just kind of takes away from like the greatness people are trying to add to it. Like, who the fuck wants to go on Slack? Let's start there. Like at least Apple had the balls enough to make it appealing for their device. Bro, this is an AI that didn't even want to be on an LLM model, or it looks like an AI that didn't even want to be its own LLM. It has to be with Slack. That's just how it looks. It may not be like that, but I'm like, yo, who the fuck wants to use Slack just to use Devin for $500 a month behind a paywall, and it can't even push to commit? Bitch, what the? Yo, my Apple thing, I could guess all the words, and even if it messes up, the next guess word will be a word that pick up right where it is, bro. So like, well, all the key features that Apple probably has updated in this newest update is better than Devin to me. Devin hasn't accomplished shit aside from a release date and hype.
It's really cool, but it is not an employee. It is not great. It's not solving all these problems. It's not anything that they're promising. That's a huge difference betwixt the two. I wish people would just understand this. This is the era of AI ML jobs being available. I am proof of that. You are true. Yeah, very true, Ayla. Have you tried O1 Pro? I haven't bought O1 Pro, but I will buy that next. I'm sad about the developer sitting on the side of this ad. I know this web developer, Devin. In fact, this actually reminds me of something else. There was I wanted to look at this because I haven't seen this yet, but this falls under the exact same thing that just kind of dropped.
People will lose jobs.
Yeah.
Many new jobs will be created, I think much better jobs. We feel a responsibility to educate society as we see it. We'll be right about some things, wrong about others, and to be as good as we can at being stewards of this technology. But not everyone's going to like all of the impacts, but this is coming. This is a scientific achievement of humanity that is going to get embedded in everything we do. The definition of work changes. Someone that lived thousands of years ago that was trying to be like a subsistence farmer probably would look at what you and I do now and say, that's not really work, they're just having fun. I think it will be so clear once these robots are off doing all of these other things that there's some special human things, and we don't really care about that much what those robots do, in the same way that we don't care that much about the machines and factories making stuff for us.
Right.
But we'll find stuff to do that we really care about.
I always think it's a little bit weird how kind of cavalier people are about this change is going to cause a lot of people a lot of difficulty. Yeah, it's not as insane as it was portrayed because I didn't listen to it. But to me, it's still very crazy that they're just like, yeah, people are going to lose their jobs. But this is good. What we're creating is good. People are going to lose their jobs. I mean, there's a lot of people that will not be able to cope with the new world. Yeah, but he's right. It's good. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if that's good. I have no idea. Like, I think if we largely looked at the internet, I'm not convinced that the internet has made people's lives amazingly better. Right? Like, I don't know. Right? Like,
It
I think that we
hasn't.
also have a huge amount. We have like a
We know. We know. Let's look at the datas. And I know this could be found on Google. We're gonna look at data because what we're not gonna do is act dumb. Has percent of deaths with social media versus no social media. We're gonna get that. It was 2012. It's the social media and suicide. There we go. There is an increase in evidence that the internet and social media can influence suicide related behaviors. Important questions are whether whether this influence poses a significant risk to the public and how public health approaches might be used to address this issue. Will address the issue. To address these questions, we provided an overview of ways social media can influence suicidal behaviors, both negatively and positively, and we evaluate the evidence of the risk. We also discuss the legal complexities of this important topic and propose future directions for research and prevention programs based on public health perspective. Social media is a relatively new phenomenon. Let me see if I could find something. An immense quantity of information on the topic of suicide is available. A fundamental question is between the rate of internet use and social media. Although limited, several preliminary studies have begun to address this question. Conducted a cross-national study that examined the association between general public suicide and the program. Was positively correlated with general. Multiple regressions indicated that prevalence of the internet use was independently associated with general. So you guys see it here. I'm not gonna go on a limb and say I was right, but when has social media ever benefited us? I don't remember a positive social media. Like I don't remember a age where we all did a kumbaya on social media. Like there was a location for us to do that. I remember doing that gaming. But social media, the aspect of socially going on your phone, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that stuff, I don't remember ever having like a positive experience from there. I always walk away feeling like I could do something more or something about me is not where it needs to be. Like questioning where I'm at. It's crazy because when social media came out, there was a huge spike in mental health things too. I just don't say a lot, but in terms of mental health and just the industry, now everyone it pays to be a therapist now because you can literally go on the internet. see someone spinning, and then you might want to do it too because you're seeing it, and there's nothing in the world that's stopping you from seeing it and doing it now. So, in all honesty, people say gangs and all of these other stuffs are terrorists. You know what I mean? That's what they police label it as. You could say the same for social media. Social media could be deemed a terrorist. All it does is commit acts against what the country stands for. And not one time has social media stood in alignment with the USA. Not one time, bruh. Think about it. There's not one time social media been around that it was in alignment with anything of the founding fathers. You can't say that about anything else. So I don't know. I don't.
Mental health issues through the roof. Like
I said
I
that.
can't say we can say that technology has been a pure great. There's a lot of great things about technology. Like I'm not a fool. I'm not one of those people that think that we should all return to monkey. Like I will say that we largely don't have to die by such stupid things anymore. Like there's a lot of great things that have come with it, but not all things are great. And one thing we haven't lost thus far.
I wouldn't say great. I would say balanced. Like the overall is ass. Like social media has not helped the general population when it comes to them, like helping them from themselves. But sometimes you can outweigh the pros and cons, even though they're both cons. Like voting for Kamala or Donald Trump. Kamala isn't well versed in the political side, but she is the one that will become well versed. She's the one that will try to learn and help our minority side of things. Trump is just a fucking bigot. You know what I'm saying? Like and I'm not trying to cut ass on him. It is what it is. You don't want either or in office. But when it comes to this presidency, we look at America. And that's the same way I look at social media. When you look at social media, let's look at America. Where's America at? Because at least we came to a consensus of Trump. Now, we never had a vote on what social media should be allowed. You want to know why? Because they none of them would get the votes.
Is the ability to work. And I know this is kind of a controversial one, but the ability to work is a very important thing. You see people who can't work, who don't have the ability to work, it really hurts them. Right? Like it hurts those people in huge ways. And the thing is like I'll be like, "Oh yeah, well I'll just be able to critically think and build whatever I want." Not everybody can just do whatever they want. There are a lot of people that don't have the mental capacity to just build whatever they want whenever they want. And UBI giving them money doesn't solve the problem of not being able to be out there and working and doing something and gaining a life, right? Like there are people in the city that I live in. There's some programs around people that kind of really have a difficult time with some of the mental problems that they have, and there's various stores that are all aligned for hiring people that have some of these disabilities so that they come in, they can work and kind of have meaningful interactions with people and all that. And it really breaks them out of their shell, allow them to be into a much better position in life. And like that's a real thing. And these kind of things destroy that, right? I'm not saying there's not going to be a lot of awesome things, but I'm also not convinced it's going to be all good, right? This kind of utopian thought that everything will be great once the robots can do everything. I just all good, right?
I'm gonna ask you a question, right? And this is just a general. I'm not gonna do too much. When you think of jobs and stuff, do you want a man like that in charge of if you get hired or not? Sam Altman. Me personally, I don't know the guy, but he's white. I don't want him in charge, especially if he's talking like that. All right, next point. Next case example. Would you want someone like Donald Trump in charge? There will be 50-50 answers for that. I'll let you know that right now. Mine is no. Would you want someone like Barack Obama in charge? There will be 50-50 answers for that. Mine is yes. So you have to understand why people are saying yes and why people are saying no, right? Because this one right here, Sam Altman, I genuinely feel like 100% of the population would say no if they had the question, do you want your job market and labor market in this dude's hands? No.
Right? This kind of utopian thought that everything will be great once the robots can do everything. I just don't think so, right? I just don't think that's good. People feel terrified when their life change, but actually it may just be a better place. It may also be a worse place. You got to remember that what is the underlying thing that happens here? What's the underlying thing happens here? Let's just say that Samuel Jippity Altman is 100% correct. What is the underlying thing that happens here? Samuel Jippity Altman is king of everybody. He owns the software that everybody has to live off of. He is ultimately the richest, most powerful person, and he decides what is right and wrong, and he is able to control effectively a huge portion of the world. Okay, it's not like, oh, everything's great. It's more like, actually, there's one person that is really great for, and his group of people it's really, really great for. Overlord Sam will be the guy. Whoever owns it will be the guy, right? They get to play God among man. All I see is that more power is condensing, right? 100 years ago, more people had more say over their life. Now that power is being more and more condensed. It's actually the chapter 3 out of there's a book called The Abolition of Man, and chapter 3 is all about how the
Hold on, let me write that down because I definitely do want to check that out. The Abolition of Man. Oh man, I love books. I love reading me a good one
escape
too.
from nature is just really a power struggle between a few people who actually wield the power, a bunch of people who are disillusioned that they actually contain the power over nature, and it really is this smaller and smaller and smaller world in which a fewer and fewer people actually have the real power. Because you and I don't have the power to escape nature. We purchase that power from other people, which is very interesting. So people think we all live greater than nature and all that. No, we are completely dependent on it. We just simply purchase it from other people. So it's a weird world to live in where fewer and fewer people get to make decisions for more and more people. I don't know. That's my whole take on this.
Empower any SMB customer or prospect to instantly create beautiful websites.
Honestly, what did he say for the last
The
part?
escape from nature is just really a power struggle. All I see is that more power is condensing, right? 100 years ago, more people
Oh
had
yeah, that part. So to finish off, first of all, great video prompt time. To finish off, what can you guys do to stay ahead of the times? Make your own AI system. Everything on the internet is free. Learn how to web scrape. Learn how to program and deploy your stuff on a local hard drive. Be the king of your own household. Because then when they try to come and impede, at least you have your privacy set up. Data and privacy will be the most important things moving forward. Because yeah, you could have the biggest and baddest, but you know what they can't have? An army. An army consists of what you have in store, what your toolkit is. They don't know what's in your toolkit. So stop using their toolkit. That's my piece.